Welcome to the Performance Portfolio Podcast with Coop and Coop. Greg Cooper is the owner of Cooper Performance Coaching and lead instructor at Kodokwai Judo Club in Edmonton, Alberta. He is on the lifelong pursuit of helping others increase their performance. Cooper Allen is a top financial advisor from Barrie, Ontario, whose focus is empowering everyday families with advice, leadership, and tools that we should have been given in school. Together, they bridge the gap between performance and finance to help you create your own robust performance portfolio. With that, let's get into today's episode.
Cool, dude. Coop, how's it going today?
Good, Greg. Good. How you doing?
Good, man. Just out here in Edmonton, just had a great Thanksgiving meal with a bunch of really close friends. So, it's always good when you can't be home for the holidays to take in a good meal and get full of turkey and stuffing and all the good things.
Yeah. So if you're falling asleep at the mic, then we'll close the call, pause and record.
No, we finish off with some espresso, so I'll be good to go.
Yeah, there you go. Right on. Sweet. Well, what are we talking about tonight?
I don't know, man. I think that's the beauty of it. Like the direction where we could take this. I think background for people that don't know us. I'm Greg Cooper. I'm a performance coach in Edmonton, Alberta. So I work with athletes, I work with business professionals, I work with any individual who's looking to increase their mental performance, their physical performance, and their overall performance in whatever they are in pursuit of. I'm also the lead instructor at Kodokwai Judo Club in Edmonton. So those two things go hand in hand. Judo is my lifelong pursuit of sport, pursuit of passion, pursuit of excellence, and now I bridge that with what I do in the performance coaching world. So that's kind of my 15-second intro. Coop, let the people
Yeah, I
know
love
how smart and amazing you are.
it. Yeah, sounds good. I've the Coles Notes is been licensed in the financial industry now for about 6 years, advising clients and then also building an agency as well. And a lot of people probably are like, okay, how does a financial advisor running a brokerage get connected with a performance coach? And I know, Greg, the thing that you and I always connected on from day one when we were introduced to one another was just the idea that for me, money isn't about what insurance vehicle or investment vehicle to purchase. It's a tool to help get you more of whatever it is that you're after in life, and wanting to design my practice around, yes, there's certain products and services we're licensed to sell and talk about and whatnot, but more importantly, let's have a greater conversation of the role it plays in your life and making sure that you're not letting it be a master over you. And I think that's why we have so much common ground is when we meet an individual, we're looking at how do we improve this person's life, whether it be mental, physical, financial. So that's a little bit about me. I could get into the social side, but after the Jays performance the last two nights, I don't really want to talk about baseball or other hobbies and ventures and at all, really.
Yeah, I think collectively baseball fans, Jays fans are a little sore. Tonight was when we're recording this anyway, it's Monday, October 13th, and tonight was not the night. And we're gonna leave it at that because we're always opportunities in the future to do better. And
Correct.
that's what we do. That's what we do.
I've
And
not I've not had a drink of alcohol in probably 120 days. But watching John Snyder manage a bullpen, it's like, man, I gotta go to the fridge, maybe.
no, man, that's a good streak. 120, good for you.
Yeah. Feels good. It's nice.
So like on that, it's funny because right now I'm doing my fifth round of 75 hard because I had a friend who was starting it. Was kind of like, I'm worried about this and this and all of the things that doing a challenge like that brings to it really quick. 75 hard is 75 days, two workouts a day, two 45-minute workouts a day. One needs to be outside, a gallon of water, no alcohol, follow a diet, read 10 pages, take a progress pic, no cheat meals. So it's a lot until you start taking it down. Like anything, best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So I just jumped in. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it too. She's like, what's day one for you? I was like, right now. I'm already halfway through.
Nice.
So I started doing that, and there's a group of people and they're all really doing good sometime the first time in it, but the alcohol piece to a lot of people because it's culture. You know, drinking is culture, not alcoholism, you know, but just hey, come over for a beer. It's Thanksgiving. We're going to have some wine and some scotch after and it's great. Hey, I love a good scotch. But I always challenge people who don't think they have the willpower. It's like
Mm.
most people don't know what feeling good feels like because they always feel bad. And alcohol is one for it. Or even if we don't want to vilify alcohol to the totality, anything that's inflammatory, you take off the processed sugar, the alcohol, those bad things for some amount of time, 2, 3 weeks, and you will not be able to tell me to my face that you feel the same. You're going to be less inflamed. You've probably lost weight because of just pure inflammation. So it's small things like that that people don't realize where small things make such a big impact. So in 121 days, like your soreness, your fatigue in the gym, your energy levels, like what does that feel like?
Yeah, it's interesting because if you would have asked me a month ago, hey, do you feel a ton better? I would have said, no, not really. Um, because I wasn't really actively paying attention to it. But I think what it's done is it's started to compound into other good decisions. So yeah, one beer leads to go into the fridge for a snack, or it leads to the next morning going, okay, I'm gonna get whatever. I'm not gonna work out, or I'm gonna sleep in, or I'm gonna eat something I know I shouldn't eat, or whatever. And I think just like compounded good decisions added up over time. Now it's noticeable. It's like, okay, I feel good. I feel dialed in. I'm at a point right now, and I don't think this is a no alcohol. I think it's just kind of like or maybe it is. I don't know. I think it's just a wavelength I'm on right now where I'm working more right now than I have at any other point throughout the year and spending more time with my family and getting more done on the personal side of my life as well, even though I'm working harder, which is the number one thing I hear from people all the time is I don't have time to do more. And it's like the more I do, I feel like
Bullshit.
the more integrated I get.
I'm so happy you said that, man. I was literally just listening to an episode of Huberman podcast, the Huberman Lab. He had DJ Shipley on, who's his Navy SEAL, and he was talking about how he optimizes his life and does that, and that's the thing. When you become more efficient, you can do more of everything. It's not the easy or not the easy, the lazy answer that ignorant people, I'm gonna call a spade here, goes, well, you just get buried in your work then doing all that. No, because this guy just laid me out his day. Yeah. When he's at work, he's there. Then he gets and he has this like little mini ritual. When he gets home, he doesn't close the garage door. He's in his vehicle. He finishes checking the texts, any missed calls, whatever on the Instagram and everything else. And then he hits the garage door button. And as soon as that garage door hits, boom, he's dad. For the next 4 hours that his kids are awake, 3 hours, whatever it is, he's dad. Because he's become so efficient at doing those things and compartmentalizing. I got to leave work stress at home because he's still involved in very high stress environment. He's not an operator anymore, but government contractor. He can't drag that to his 7 year old energetic little ball of a daughter, right? And that's where people don't realize what trailing these small good habits turns to efficiency and turns to like such a robust life. Like you have twin girls and you're not texting double thumbs while you're pretending to play with them. You're there, right? Like because you've created such an efficient life for yourself.
Yeah, and I think the reality is that it's not that I don't think people are as busy as they think they are. I think they feel like they're busy because they're in this guilt shame cycle of when I was over here, I knew I should have done this, but I didn't because I wasn't focused on it. But now I'm back over here thinking about this. So it's like you're there, and I've gone through those cycles at times where I'm at work thinking about how I could have been a better spouse or a better parent, and then I'm at home thinking about how I could have been a better business owner. And you never win at that point. It's like when you try to be everything to everyone, you end up being not really anyone to anyone at all. So, and I do think to your point about efficiency is we live in this society where we've gotten so far away from like remembering what's important. So I can order something on Amazon to my door same day or next day, but it loses the critical thinking skill to think about, well, what do I actually need here?
Hmm.
And let me go plan my day in the community to go do this the most effective way. So I'm not like, okay, because people have lost that art, you watch people in society now where they'll go drive to get gas and then they get gas and they come home and go, oh crap, we don't have any snacks here. We're having people over later. Now they drive back out to go get snacks and then they get home and kids need something. They drive out to go get it. It's like, why did you just take 3 trips on something that you could have hit all at one point? Like that to me is efficiency, not this like click, have everything at your fingertips in an
Hmm.
instant world that removes critical thinking skills from day-to-day life.
Well, and to that note, Coop, I think the big misconception that we as a world have now about the word efficiency is we use it lazily and we use it incorrectly. Amazon, all of this stuff that is around us, our phones, instant likes, all of this stuff. It's not efficient. It is an overabundance of extreme convenience. And that creates laziness. That creates no critical thinking. That creates all of these terrible habits of, oh, I skipped my workout. I skipped this. I watched 8 episodes of the new thing on Netflix, whatever show, and didn't do dinner. Uber Eats it is. And then they get stuck in this. I don't even call it a rut anymore. They just get stuck in this vicious cycle of telling themselves that it's okay because everybody else does it. So that's awful. Sean Taylor, a mentor of mine, he's got a lot of wisdom, but this one thing that he said that just always is in my head is, there's a lot of ordinary people out there, and that's okay. Because if everybody, that there's more to it. So now I'm taking away from his words into mine. And why that's okay is if everybody was extraordinary, well, it wouldn't be extraordinary anymore. But even if you end up living your whole life, and at the end of the day, when it's your last breath, you go, "Yeah, I lived a pretty ordinary life." That could be okay, and you can be at peace with that. If you were in the pursuit of excellence, if you were in the pursuit of something that was your purpose, if that you created a life that's abundant and not overly convenient. But if you were ordinary and on that same day in a different room in the hospice, that person went, "Wow, yeah, I did all the Uber Eats, I did all the bad habits, I did all the things. So now I'm ordinary and mediocre." So it's okay to be ordinary. There's lots of people that are ordinary that have created a huge impact because they didn't fall into that vicious cycle of being so over absorbently convenienced in their life.
Yeah, that's such a great point, the difference between ordinary and mediocre. Because that is the issue with the world is the mediocrity. It's not being ordinary. And I think I am kind of tired in the personal development space of speaking in absolutes, where it's if you're not doing the cold plunge at 5 a.m. and doing this and doing that and whatever, you're never going to make it. You're not contributing to the world. You need to sell out, do 75 hard a million days in a row, or you're a huge loser. It's like, does it have to be all or nothing? Or could I think what the world needs, yes, we do need some more people stepping up and becoming extraordinary people. But I also think the way the tide is really going to shift, the way that people socially want things to shift, is getting back to ordinary people having temporary moments of courage and temporarily doing extraordinary things. Like not for a lifetime, not doing 75 hard their entire life, but going through periods of whether it's sobriety or whether it's going on big 90-day runs in their business and doing something that's unsustainable for a 1 month, 3 month, 6 month period of time, and then settling back into what they were before and just going from 5.5 out of 10 good to 6 out of 10 good, but showing people a level of possibility. And I think in those little moments where people do extraordinary things, it's a way to stretch your potential and feel fulfilled while also not losing yourself in the process and still being relatable to people you care about and being an example and things like that. So maybe, yeah, maybe you're not striving to be a billionaire and that's okay, but that's also not an excuse to be mediocre. We need to get back to, hey, like dad's going to war. Like there's a war right now, and maybe it's not overseas in military gear, but it is against mediocrity. It is against middle class thinking because we're in that cycle right now of strong times, strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create rough times. I think we're back into that cycle now where with these rough times we need some strong men again.
Hmm.
And that's not going to be somebody stepping up and being the one. Everybody's looking right now. Is it going to be the government? Who's coming to save us? It's like that Spider-Man meme pointing at who's going to be the one that's coming to save us. I hope it's my one cousin who's a little bit weird, but's always talking about personal development. It's like, no, it's you. Like it's you getting from 5 out of 10 good to 6 out of 10 good to inspire the person who's 4 out of 10 good to be 5 out of 10 good and rising tide theory with society.
Yeah. I got to look something up really quick because it'll play into exactly what you're talking about. And me and a friend of mine, let's see.
As you're looking that up, I'm curious.
Perplexity's working it. Man, AI
Very
is the
good.
best.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think the biggest reason I want to get on and have these conversations
that's fine.
with you is just like there's got to be space for people to understand that they can do more and be more without thinking that they need to be the next billionaire. They don't even need to be as ambitious as you or I. I just would hope that we're getting to ears that accept the challenge to be a little bit more.
Mhm.
Understand that's like, hey, you're enough already. You are enough as an individual. Um, and can you be a little bit better? Not for you, but for the team. Because I look at the world the same way I look at a sports team growing up. So you want to be better for the club, for the team. Okay, well, do you want to be better for your community? Because I see a lot of people complaining about the state of the world, but very few people stepping up to set an example of what they wish it looked like.
Mhm. Yeah. No, and that you hit the nail on the head, Coop. Very, very, very few. And when I say that, 0.0001% of people will change the world. We've seen a few. I don't think we'll see another person that truly changes the world for a while. But you can change the world around you. You can change your immediate environment and your immediate culture, your immediate community, whatever you want to label that as. And the thing I had to look up so I got it right was the psychological concept called the bystander effect. So that's you're on the street and you see a car accident or you see something really heinous happen that would require a call to 911. First thing that everybody does nowadays is pull out their phones and record it. The second thing is, should I call 911? Nah, somebody else did it. But every other person in that circle of 50 people that are witnessing this probably said the same thing. So nobody called 911. And it's the bystander effect. And it is not a extraordinary thing you have to do. It's not a difficult thing you have to do. It's not a world-changing thing. But if you, regardless of if you think somebody did or not, 911's not going to care. The worst thing that will happen is 911, what's your emergency? You explain the emergency and they go, oh, thank you so much for calling. We had 5 other people call. The best thing that would happen is, thank you. We just heard about this. You're the first to call on it. We will send out the EMTs or the police or fire or whoever's needed will be on their way. And you may have made the biggest difference in somebody's world because maybe you saved somebody's brother or their son or their dad. Or maybe you helped somebody not get away with doing a crime. So it's the bystander effect, and it evolves more than just the 911. It's like that in everything, like the things we were talking about at the start. Well, everybody else is watching Netflix, so everybody else is doing this stuff. Well, no, some people are, but if you just switch those habits, small things, you don't need to go run with the 40-pound ruck on and do all this crazy stuff. The average person can do a mile in 20 minutes walking. If you just did that once a day, that's a huge difference you're going to make. Your digestive tract's going to be healthier. You're going to get some fresh air. You're going to get lower screen time for 20 minutes. And if you go with somebody, you're going to have a great conversation for 20 minutes. Tiny, tiny task that takes zero. Everybody has 20 minutes. Everybody. Right? And they're just not willing to switch that. So we got to get away from this bystander effect and move into those, like your point, those moments of stepping out of our comfort zone, or those moments of courage, those moments of bravery where we're just going to do something just a little different than everybody else.
100%. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And like you said, what's the worst case scenario? Like you end up not making a difference, but it's because somebody else made a difference. So you regain some faith in humanity. Like, man, I'm around some good people.
Yeah.
All right, like that's a pretty good worst case scenario. You go for a walk, what's the worst case scenario? Oh, I didn't lose any weight
Yeah.
on this
Oh,
walk.
it rained and I didn't
Yeah.
have my Gore-Tex.
Yeah. But yeah,
Boo-hoo.
you got 10, 15, 20 minutes of just some peace and quiet where you could just be alone with your thoughts and be outside and breathe in some fresh air and not, yeah, be behind a screen all day.
Yeah. Well, and that's for me on the coaching side of things, and I think you can relate to this a lot, is, when I talk to my clients, I'm looking at three different screens. And I'm looking at three different screens for most of my day until I'm on the judo mats. Then I get so grateful for our sport. I get 4 to 5 hours every day where I'm on a mat. I'm not touching a screen. I'm not looking at anything except if I use my stopwatch on my phone. It's awesome. But for most of my day, I'm in front of multiple screens, whether I'm talking on a Zoom or doing some content or whatever else, emails, all that, always in the screens. And I tell my clients, like, look, here's what I do. I have judo. Maybe you don't have that, but when you're at the gym, do not disturb mode. When you go for a walk, don't take your phone. Like, it's 20 minutes of your day. If you're going to read a book, read an actual book. Not because it's more righteous or any of this stuff, but it just gives you a small mental break away from screens and technology and all the other stuff. It just gives you that break, and it's like, oh, that's nice. And over
Yeah.
time, you'll go, how can I avoid doing that more? How can I get
That's
my
some,
friends to come on walks with me instead of just like melting into Netflix?
Totally. Those are two big things I think we should talk about next time that we're on one of these conversations. Is one is after you start doing good things, more making more compounded good decisions, the ripple effect it has on other people. The amount of people that, oh, Coop's not having a beer, so I'm not going to have a beer. I don't need to. And I think of the environments that I've been in and how much easier it's been to not have a casual beer when somebody else says, no, no, I'll get a whatever. I'll get a club
Hmm.
soda, and how much easier that makes it. Uh, and then also the other point about, yeah, personal growth is not a righteous thing. You're not supposed to grow so that you can keep up with the Joneses and be better than the Joneses. You're supposed to grow because on the other side of incremental growth, you just feel better and you're being an example for the people that you care about. Like I could go on for an hour about that. That's a whole other topic. Just
Mhm.
the I don't feel like I'm better than the next person because I'm not drinking alcohol right now. I just feel like a better version of myself.
Yeah.
And does that make me better than the next person? No, it really doesn't. It just means that I'm going through a phase right now where that's one of the activities that's part of my growth journey. But then when you talk about it, some people do get offended. They get this like inferiority complex. What do you think you're better than me then? It's like,
Mm.
sorry, God forbid I try to do something for my own health here. Like I'm not trying to run away from you. I'm just trying something out here. Like it's not that deep.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I think no matter how big of an impact we make for the people around us, anybody who listens to us in the future here, and anybody we cross paths with. Yeah, there's that ripple effect, but you're always going to have that hate and that disdain and that negativity to you. I had a conversation with a friend about it just today. Like another one of his really close friends just said, "Hey, maybe you shouldn't do that because there's a lot of people that dislike you." He's like, that's really disheartening for for not for me personally, like whatever. People will think what they think, but he's like, that's so disheartening that you as my friend had to warn me, like you were looking out for me, that if I make YouTube videos or do this, that people might like hate me more. Okay, well, whatever. And it's put it into any context. There's always going to be that. And I know you pretty well, Coop. So based on this conversation, you're telling me that you didn't become a financial advisor to make money and become wealthy. You did it to help people. Is that what I'm hearing? That sounds insane. Oh wait, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, yeah. Not when you get it. Not when you understand. Crazy. Yeah. I don't even know what to say with this stuff because it literally doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Anytime someone has tried to be like, I want to start this, whatever, business, club, anything to help people make a difference, grow my skill set, make money. I don't even care what their reasons are. I just like I've always wanted to be the biggest champion for that. So when I see people that are like, whether they're questioning people's intentions or their integrity or just don't want them to do it, I used to get mad when people thought that way. Now I just pray for them. I just like, man, I hope that whoever hurt you can, I hope eventually you can just overcome that and get back
Mhm.
to a better place. And there's so many people with hate in their heart, and the irony of it is they don't realize that that's the reason that they're not winning.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's as we wrap, what are you hoping to get out of this? I know we don't have a super big plan for a brand or fancy pods or whatever. It's just like you and I hopping on having a conversation. But
Over time it will. Once we get like, in a few weeks, once we like start pushing Joe Rogan for number one listen podcast, like obviously we're gonna get a Jamie and we're gonna get all the cool shit. But but for the time being, it's I think it's a mix. Like you and me have talked about this lots where, you're in the financial world, I'm in the performance world and the athletic world, and like bridging the gap between that and talking a bit about both of those things in a more tangible way for the ordinary people and the extraordinary people out there to take it in bite-sized portions and actually have some actionable things other than this big long wordy article that my financial advisor sent me about this new fund that I know nothing about, or some strategies that you could take in any vehicle of your life. Whatever your passion is, if somebody's listening to this and they're starting a business or they want to become a coach or a financial advisor or whatever it is, how can we help them understand the value? Whatever you do, as long as there's value there, it can take it out. So I think it's going to be, a bit of our experience, our knowledge, and then, looking at current events and where the world's at too. Like crazy things happen. Hopefully when we can talk about the Blue Jays winning the World Series and things like that, right? So I think it's a mix, but it's all going to be value based. It's all going to be driven to help people improve themselves no matter where they are or where they're going in life.
yeah, I love that.
What about
And
you, Coop? Anything different?
I hope, yeah, I hope that people know that when we talk about this stuff, we're, I've always hated the idea of like, well, just stay in your lane. Greg, don't talk about anything other than performance. Coop, don't talk about anything other than finance because it just creates what's happening in our world right now, where you've got so many people on one side, so many people on the other, and they don't know how to meet in the middle because they don't know how to establish common ground on anything. And that's not just politically, that's you have financial people, and then you have people who want to learn it, but they don't know where to start. You've got people who understand performance, and you've got people who want to be high performers but don't know where to start. And I've always been, I think, able to explain my world to you in plain English, and you've always been able to explain your world in plain English to me. And I think that's just what we need more of. And I think the reason that we can do that is because we talk about things outside of our realm as well. and we take an interest in people and get curious and learn their world, so that we can use analogies that people understand and break things down in plain English. And I also think that our industries, especially, but even the world as a whole, needs an example of someone who does well in the industry who's also just a regular human being, not some like random, weird, hyper niche specialist that you could never relate to or aspire to be.
Mhm.
So I love the fact that when I'm training new people in our brokerage and they look at the success that I've had, they can go, oh, I see a lot of that guy's faults and vulnerabilities as well, which gives me some hope that if he can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah, no, I love that. And that's just it. And I would say, without sounding braggadocious, that you and I are on the higher end of that. And I would like to think that we're closer to becoming, not are, but becoming extraordinary at some point in our lives that we are ordinary. Definitely further away from that mediocre side. But we're just normal dudes. you know yeah, on the fitness side of things, I do some crazy stuff. That's the thing that gives me some drive. I like doing that. And at the same breath, I look at what you do in the financial world and I go, man, that's incredible. And it's kind of a cool dichotomy because we always talk about it's good to have like-minded people around you, but it's just as important to have people that think vastly different than you. And you and I create a cool dynamic because we are like-minded, but we also think so vastly different because we live in different worlds. You're East Coast, West Coast. Just that alone, our different cultures that we're around most of the time shapes the way we view things. So it gives a pretty good spectrum of knowledge and depth. I think that people really take a good liking to. So
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more. Awesome, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you doing this. I know we've had this idea for a while where, hey, let's just have a coffee conversation or a nightcap, depending on time of day. And I'm glad we made it happen.
yeah, man. And that's kind of the punchline of the whole thing, right? If you're thinking about doing something, just do it. Coop and I
Absolutely.
have a lot of ideas. We send each other a lot of different texts and emails and ways that we can work with each other and do that in your life if you're listening to this. So this is episode 00 of the Unnamed Podcast with Greg and Cooper. So
You're right on.
there we
Awesome,
are.
brother. We'll chat next time.
Sounds good, brother.
Take care.